Okay, it's been a long fucking time since I've last filmed anything, so please bear. Hey, so, would you want to get coffee with me sometime? That was, okay, let's, hey, so, would you want to get coffee with me sometime? You can't see it, but I'm winking. 8 words, so simple, but not often enough said. Today, I'll be showing you why we should all ask them out on a date, face to face, at least once in our lives. If not now, at some point. As someone who has been on several dates before, not to brag, the number of which I can probably count on this one hand. And, you know, within that, I've also asked people out on dates. This is why I think it should be a practice that we should all engage in more regularly, should, you know, the time or the opportunity strike. If you're watching this, you're probably single. Please, please. I don't know how to do this. HDMI. Please. Okay, as young-ish people in the digital age, I'm saying if you're around my age, that we're in the pivotal period where most of us are lucky enough to have 0 real responsibilities compared to the later strains of when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna, you know, unleash a new generation of your DNA upon this earth? Nothing of that right now, in fact, with my parents actively against this argument. So now is the time when we get to fuck around, both figuratively and non-metaphorically. If you get this reference, good job. So now is the time when, according to Erik Erikson's stages of psychosocial development, thank you AP Psych, we're leaving that crucial scene of identity formation and moving into our search for intimacy with others, be it through one way or another, probably one way, but yeah. As such, dates are gonna have increasing importance in our lives. Fundamentally, you know, a date, among other things, thank you, is a proposal for a transaction of social time. So do you want to do X activity with me? This is a very outdated meme, but I'm going to use it anyways. So this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. As I said, it could be towards like a professor, a friend, a potential employer, whatever. Whenever you're doing the asking, you are putting yourself out there, and that already on its own is an exceedingly useful skill to have in life. And the biggest barrier one might have to asking someone out is fear. And so by willingly showing your interest, you are also showing more than a little bit of vulnerability in putting yourself up to be potentially rejected by this person, which is an incredibly brave thing in my opinion. So this takes courage, it takes confidence, and the ability to tough it out, only for the real ones. Sorry, I keep touching your face just because I like to see myself in the viewfinder. But wait, rejection? Isn't this supposed to be persuasive? But the truth is, you're probably gonna hear a lot more "we regret to inform you" one way or another in your lifetime, as I know from personal experience. That's simply part of life. And what we must focus on in turn is our ability to toughen up and take those rejections and just learn to let them, you know, roll off our backs for us to keep moving. And the important thing is that we learn along the way in order to maximize our future odds of success. This is a graph that I stole from the internet, which is probably your learning curve. There was another more official learning curve that I was taught several years ago, but that doesn't matter now. Ron Ashkenaz writes for Harvard Business Review that we should remember that rejection can be beneficial. It can force us to come, are you following? Can you read this? Okay. It can force us to come up with more ideas, redirect us to different paths, and keep us humble and open to learning. Beyond building up confidence, asking other people out allows us to self-assess and to think about how we present ourselves and how other people perceive us in the way that we articulate ourselves. And so, doesn't this sound a little bit familiar at least? No? Really? Oh my god, yeah, so it's all rhetoric, as we've been covering extensively throughout this semester. You want some? So, if you didn't have the immense good fortune to be in this Rhetoric 101 class with me, sucks to suck, but I made this presentation for my final and decided that I spent too much time on it for it to die out in the depths of my Google Drive. So, this is this video. Would you like some popcorn? I've been stress eating. So before communicating our intentions effectively, we ask ourselves what kind of people we are and what the other person may So before communicating our intentions effectively, we ask ourselves what kind of people we are and what the other person may see in order to better our chances of a success. We make sure we look good, fly zipped, cologne on, that's what I like, and we think about how best to communicate ourselves. So this takes thoughtful, deeper effort, also known as slow thinking, and we learn more about ourselves in the process. Just asking people out is going to be coming into plenty of use in different situations in your life. Business propositions, meetings, encounters with strangers, literally just meeting anyone new. Caring about what others think of you does not, and in fact shouldn't be, the number one priority in your life. But unless you're gonna screw off to the middle of nowhere and just live your days in solitude among the deer and the rabbits, which I commend you for that, go bushcrafting. Excuse me. Being at least semi-aware of how others perceive you is essential if you are gonna take the normie route, like me and like everybody, most people, and live your days out in society. So that is gonna be an essential thing, remember that. So, you might think, why should I bother asking anyone out if I could go through this thing of rejection and have wasted my energy on the process? The right people will come, I just have to wait. But don't. And to that I offer the counterpoint, the right people will stay. So, if there's someone in your life who you would want to get closer to or know on a deeper level, just don't wait, don't do it. Just go for it, or else the opportunity might leave and you'll be left with regrets, which is not good. To use another trite metaphor, which we love because I am an English major, there are plenty of fish in the sea. Yes, that is true. However, that does not say anything about the type or the quality of the fish, and that depends on which sea and, the area of water that you're currently in. So do you want prime sashimi, or do you want whatever fish this is? This expired fish that has been so for who knows how long and has drifted over from some random ass coast. No. Instead of waiting for what the tide washes in and trying to make a meal of the pickings, why not reclaim your agency and choose for yourself? So, even if you fail, you know that you have the courage to at least have tried, and that is definitely saying something. To quote Confucius, Kongzi, founder of one of the major philosophies / schools of thought in the world, the man who asks a question is a fool for a minute, the man who does not ask is a fool for life. So if you don't ask, you'll never know. And because life keeps moving, the moment might just pass by. People are busy, People are busy doing this and not studying for finals. So, find room for yourself somewhere in there. Also, Confucius has a freaking IMDb page, for those of you who didn't know. I didn't know that. It's kind of cool. What do you have to lose, or what do you have to gain, rather? Good question. What could you possibly get out of this? So let's lay out a few of the options as follows, in no particular order, because it's more often better to be prepared rather than not. So you could get a lifelong / long-term relationship that you learn and grow from, without which you might never have grown into, that's a weird use of tenses, without which you might never grow into the wonderful person you become. Can you envision the like intro scene where everybody cries, but I did not, because I cry at every other movie. I cried at Boss Baby, by the way. Bragging. So like that scene, but that's you. Just imagine that. You could get that. This is using a romantic context, by the way, for most of these. You get a bad date, but you get a good story to tell, because most often those make part of the lore, which moves into a different point. You could get heartbroken as well, but also that is character building, you know? It's gonna add another depth of flavor to the stew of personality that is you. So I encourage you to go for it. You could get no date, like we said, oh well, rejection, nothing, take it, move on. You could get a new friend zoned. You could get laid, some woohoo time, or you could get to be part of a true crime podcast. You could, you know, get a chance to be part of that scene if that's something you've always wanted out of life or death. But yeah, those are a few options, all very interesting, all part of the market. So just, what could happen? Oh, okay. Huh? Oh, oops. In her article for Forbes, Dr. Margie Worrell, which I think is an excellent name, personally cites the Parmenides fallacy, which is the human tendency to assume that the present situation will remain the same. And so we're inclined to ignore the cost that inaction poses to our lives. Hindsight only kicks in later, and we would only be left with regret to sit with. I did not include this in my presentation, but for you to get a more accurate visual, just think of sitting on the toilet for an extended period of time. You're stuck in a burst of inaction. You're sitting there, you can literally feel like the hemorrhoids creeping in, your legs are getting paralyzed, you're losing circulation in your toes. You've long done your business, but you can't drag yourself away from doom scrolling and scrolling and scrolling whatever you're looking at. So that is an example of what Worrell is talking about in Forbes, I think. Get up off the toilet if you're there now. Come on, go wash your hands. Go get on with your life. Okay, so are you convinced? Are you convinced? Show of hands, please. Show of hands. Fucking raise it. You do it. Me. Choose me. Love me. Okay, good job. Thank you. So I ask you, how willing are you to make a change? To take a little bit of a risk, just a little bit, and reach out to that person, be it a romantic interest, someone whose style you admire or just admire in general, a professor, a friend you haven't talked to in a while, a family member, or a complete stranger. Take a chance on yourself. And to round out this presentation, to quote the anonymous source YouTube user Mr. Sulfur Mustard in turn mentioned in his YouTube comments under this video of something along the lines of asking 100 girls out on a date, and the success rate of that video was like 19%, by the way. This is how I do my citations. As this person said, it's just talking and accepting a no or a yes. Stop taking yourself and everything so seriously. Stop taking yourself and everything so seriously. Or the moral of the story paraphrased by me, don't overthink it. Fuck it, check it, we ball. Thank you. Hi, everybody settle down. So this is how to get some balls 101. You guys are right on time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Okay. Thank you for being here. Mwah. Mwah. Bye. Good luck. Yeah, so, like, I saw you across the room and I thought you were really cute, so, what's your snap? I'm so lonely. This lighting is not doing wonders for me. Doesn't matter, it's okay. Right, testing, live from the 47 Things room. Actually, do you want a front row seat? I bet you are, because you're such a swot. Magic. Can you all even see me? Okay, the lighting's kind of shit. Let me show you my technological prowess. Computer not connected, but what the It's not going in. Where do I put it? Okay. I'm going to start crying of this. This is a PC, yes? It's a fucking PC. We're just gonna go ahead. I swear I'm funny. Probably. Hey, so would you want to go out for coffee with me sometime?